Bitcoin arguably has been rallying ever since day one. 14 years ago, this day, 14 years ago, you could have bought 10 Bitcoin for under $1 because at that point, Bitcoin was under 10 cents each. That was 14 years ago. Most of you guys probably remember 14 years ago like it was nothing. I remember. I still remember when the very first iPhone came out in 2007. This was afterwards. You could have bought enormous amount of Bitcoin back then. No one paid attention, but the ones that did, they're freaking billionaires right now. It's just that simple, right? This is why you could argue that Bitcoin has been rallying ever since day one. Nothing has outperformed Bitcoin over the long haul. It's the greatest appreciating asset that we have and will probably continue to be that way forever because of the scarcity factor. Demand keeps going up and there's only so much Bitcoin to go around. It's controlled by code. There will never be more than 21 million. No other asset out there. You look at stocks, there's no stocks. Stocks could always... There's always more of it. They can always issue more. You look at gold, you look at silver, you look at copper, palladium, platinum, you look at oil, you look at any commodities. There's always more that could be produced or found or dug out of the ground or mined from asteroids, but not Bitcoin. Right now, there's only 450 million. 450 being minted or created per day. Okay, not minted. Mined. But yesterday, we had 670 being eaten up by the ETFs. That's just in the US, right? And that was a slow day. Look at Monday through Wednesday, it's more than double. So, and since January, it's double. So the ETFs in the US alone are eating up twice the amount that's being released per day now. Don't tell me that doesn't have effect. It does, especially when Bitcoin is scarce. There's only so many that can be produced, and the ETFs alone are eating all of it up. And this is just the US. Let's not forget like Hong Kong. Hong Kong, not as big as Wall Street, obviously, but in total, they already took in $306 million, a third of $1 billion, right? All this is having effect. Canada's is multi-billion, close to 10 billion in total too. It's all adding up. This is why the supply keeps decreasing. And there's so many really good reasons why we should continue to accumulate. Besides being a store of value, besides being a hedge against inflation, it's a great medium of exchange too. It's the greatest network that we have. Franklin Templeton's CEO yesterday came out and said that people are underestimating this, that Bitcoin's network processed 36.6 trillion transactions, which is more than MasterCard and Visa combined. Just think about that for a second. Everyone in the world is using MasterCard and Visa. And yet Bitcoin processed more transactions than both of them combined. That's staggering, right? So even as a medium of exchange, Bitcoin and Bitcoin network is winning. And it's the only decentralized network out there that can't be shut down by any government. You can shut down Visa. You can shut down MasterCard pretty easily. Any of the agencies could go to these companies and deactivate your account. They can stop your transaction, right? The transaction could be reversed. And there are parts of the world where you can't use a credit card, right? But Bitcoin has none of those barriers. Bitcoin, you can send Bitcoin to anywhere in the world as long as they have a wallet and they have internet access. Anyone in the world can receive your Bitcoin within minutes, right? For a stupidly small amount of fees, but there's no middleman. No one could stop the transaction. No one could try to shut down the network. It just won't happen, right? So it's just really staggering if you think about it. Even as a network, it's the greatest one that we have, one that has never been hacked before, one that has 100% uptime too. There's no other network that could say that. It's crazy. Bitcoin parabolic rally may start in Q4 according to historical price data. Well, Peter Brandt posted this. This is pretty interesting. What I want to really focus on is look at the halving dates of the last 4 halving events and look at the halving close price from those last 4 cycles, including this one that we just went through. First cycle, the halving event, Bitcoin was at $13. Pretty impressive considering it came out and it was worth 0, right? And then it went up to $650. Then it went up to $9,600. And this one that we just went through, we were nearly at $65,000. Again, for people that are bearish, all you have to do is look at the numbers and look at how the lows keep getting higher, the highs keep getting higher, the halvings keep getting higher. And yes, you look at it, the last 2 halving events, after we had a halving event, the price actually went lower, right? So you look at it in 2015 and 2017, after the halving at 650, went down 27% to 476. Okay, the 2018 one went down 10%. This one went down, we're down about 26%, right, from our low, but we're not actually there. We're not, we're a lot closer to that point. But still, again, we move, even with all the different scenarios and everything, we kind of move still according to the same behavior as previous cycles. And of course, you look at the new highs, I mean, it just keeps on going up. Why does anyone have any doubt about Bitcoin? This is what it does. It has up and downs, a lot of volatile movements in between, but every single cycle, Bitcoin goes a lot higher, and that's the end of the story. So that's why you want to accumulate as much as you can while you still can, while it's still cheap, because it's not so cheap anymore. Bitcoin's not 10,000. Bitcoin's not 1,000. Bitcoin is nearly $100,000. It's that simple.